Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Good news out here in the Pacific Northwest. The storm warning for potential tornadoes, 1-inch size hail, severe winds, none of that came to fruition. But what did happen was a massive thunderstorm. And I just want you to think about this. Headline up here from the Pacific Northwest was more like something that you would see in Oklahoma. Try it one more time. More like something you would see in Oklahoma. So what's the connection with the Pacific Northwest and Oklahoma? Well, if you follow basketball, you already know. The old Seattle Supersonics became the Oklahoma City Thunder in the 2008 and 9 season. And what's noteworthy about that is this storm happened on the 85th day of the year, March 26th. And of course, in Gematria, basketball equates to 85, just like storm. And don't forget, the first ever March Madness tournament was in 85. The city Boston equals 85, the city that's won the most pro basketball championships. This is a big number with basketball ritualism. Not to mention the women's team that still remains in Seattle is called the Storm. And with regards to this having to do with climate and bizarre weather, the Pacific Northwest experienced 80-plus degree weather, which is unheard of in March, which is part of what brought this Oklahoma-like thunderstorm. Remember, one of the major sports arenas in Seattle is Climate Pledge Arena. Now, what makes this even more interesting is, as we've been talking about all year, something we've been talking about all season with this current NBA season, it's the 79th NBA season. The Seattle Supersonics won the championship in 79. Slick Watts, who played for the Sonics, retired in 79. He just died by the numbers the other day. We covered that. But recall how this 79th NBA season began. It began with all eyes on LeBron James and the Lakers on the eve of the World Series starting. And who was in attendance for that game with LeBron? Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr., the last father-son sports duo in sports history, which was up in Seattle, where the Griffeys played. And don't forget the other year with the Home Run Derby, Vlad Guerrero Jr. won the contest. And it was the first time in history a father and son had become winners of the Home Run Derby. See how they did that in Seattle where the Griffeys played? But don't forget, with this 79th NBA season, LeBron Raymond James equates to 79, and he stayed on 79 home losses in the opener. And then at the end of the game, as the Lakers had won, they announced the death of Fernando Valenzuela, the great Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher, when Fernando Valenzuela equals 79. So all this going on with this 79th NBA season, which channels the history of Seattle, who's now the Oklahoma City Thunder. And funny enough, the finals this year begin on June 5th. And that means that this storm came 71 days before the finals begin, which is curious because who is the god of thunder? Jupiter. Jupiter's the god of thunder in the occult, in ancient mythology. Zeus has that gematria value of 71. And keep in mind this happened on the eve of a Thursday named after Zeus or Thor or the planet Jupiter. But yeah, just a reminder. Controlled weather, rig sports, ritualism, these types of things coming together again and again. Don't forget what they did with the Hurricanes last year. And the Tampa Bay Rays Stadium, Tropicana got its top torn off the same day they demolished the casino to make way. They demolished the Tropicana casino to make way for the new baseball stadium for when the Athletics moved to Vegas. And again, for anyone who doesn't understand it, work to understand it. Again, weather warfare was admitted to in 1952 on the Jesuit order's birthday, the same Jesuits that control your sports leagues, your government, your news. Same Jesuits that do this kind of ritualism all the time, really. On the 85th day of the year, a storm in and tribute to basketball as we approach the NBA playoffs. And just for the record, where was the last game that Oklahoma City played before this happened? Again, the team that used to be in Seattle. They played not far away the night before the storm. They played in Sacramento, which is the closest city in the NBA to the Pacific Northwest. If you don't know the West Coast, you got Seattle as the biggest city, midway up the state of Washington. Then you got Portland a few hours south, and then about 10 hours south of there is Sacramento. Yeah, I'm glad that nobody's property was severely impacted, but still, again, a lot to take notice about here. Again, look into that military document from the U.S. military about having full control of the weather by 2025, because this is what it looks like. Pumping 80-some degree heat wave into the Pacific Northwest, bringing about a massive thunderstorm, and then going, man, that looked like something that would happen in Oklahoma. I don't know how more people don't get it. Until next time, Truth Seeker.